black and white.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
in England, they don't.
I just didn't have any problem whatsoever. And I didn't even, we never talked about that kind of thing in our family. My father was a Caucasian. My mother, of course, was a black.
Right.
And it just was never mentioned. So therefore, my whole idea of who I was and what I was about and how I could achieve things never really entered my mind. I just did them. You know, that was the main thing. But it was a,
big
it was a
shocker.
cultural shock for me, you know.
Yeah.
It was a wounding shock, as a matter
And
of
the
fact.
language here, they use
Very much
such
so.
language. It's the vulgarity.
Well, you find, you know, you find this, that every place, though, Skip.
You do.
You really do.
At 12, you hear it.
You hear it.
Okay. So
but I never emulated that kind of thing at all, because my whole life has been, you know, performing and being around persons who were uplifting.
So you were always a performer?
A performer, basically, yeah, because I was in Tarzan films, too. And Dorothy Dandridge, I remember my first little film. I didn't know. The first film I did was Stormy Weather with Lena Horne and Bill Robinson.
Horne.
Yes,
My
I was about 5 years old, and I was in a show in London, dancing as it was called the Children's Hour. And Bill Robinson was in London, great tap dancer, as the whole world, Shirley Temple fame, and he was sitting in the audience, and I was with my auntie, and I was called to go on stage, and I ran on stage, fell off the stage, and pulled my trousers up, and he says, "That kid I want." And so he came backstage and said, "Is it possible that that kid could be in the Stormy Weather film with Lena Horne and myself?" So they brought me back to this country at that time, and I appeared in Stormy Weather. I was one of the kids who sang and danced.
So you were young when you arrived here.
Oh, 5 years old, as far as that is performing. Of course, when I went back, Skip, I asked my auntie, "What can I do next to get back into another film? Shall I fall off again?" And that kind of thing.
When you arrived here at 12, and it was shocking and everything, and then you went to school, and when did you go to New York? When did you discover you wanted to do Broadway?
Well,
what was your very first show on Broadway after that?
Well, I tell you, before that was Paul Whiteman. Paul Whiteman had a show called the Paul Whiteman TV Teen Club.
Right.
Yes.